Yeah.
I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. Man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
And welcome in to another edition of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Charles Bishop here, along with A.D. Drew. What is going on, A.D.?
What's going on, man? Trying to get back in the routine. It's been almost 2 weeks since I've been on the air, man.
I know. Your ears should have been burning pretty good today.
And I got a lot I want to get off my chest because I hadn't been here in 2 weeks, my brother.
We will get to it. We will get to it. Again, welcome into another episode of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast. The show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora and all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture and the HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Charles Bishop, tonight, along with my co-host, A.D. Drew, and we're filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to our KCOH 1230 AM studios and the Texas Radio Hall of Famer Ralph Cooper in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. A lot of news and notes to get to today, man. Let's start things off. First and foremost, let's offer kudos as Texas Southern has extended Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, Dr. Kevin Granger, through 2029. Dr. Granger has served as TSU's Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics since 2018, and he's been affiliated with the university for 31 years as a student athlete, coach, and administrator. And this is a statement, AD, from Dr. Granger. I would like to thank our Board of Regents and President Crawford for having the trust and belief in me to guide our athletic program. Texas Southern has played a pivotal part in my life, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to keep building on the foundation. We are coming off another history-making season, both academically and athletically, and my goal is to continue elevating TSU to another level, as I also want to thank the student athletes, university faculty and staff, and athletic staff for working together as a cohesive unit to ensure TSU remains at the forefront in this era of college athletics. Dr. Kevin Granger getting extended through 2029, more stability there at Texas Southern University, AD.
You know, I would ask you what in the TSU is going on out here in the HBCU athletic space, but congratulations to Dr. Kevin Granger. You know, it comes on, ironically, comes on the cusp of the person who he replaced, Dr. Charles McClellan, getting an extension with the SWAC.
Yeah.
So, it's something in the water y'all got going on down there in Houston, man. Some good stuff going on for some people in their careers with ties to Texas Southern University.
Very unique time and space, I think, not just within the conference, but at Texas Southern University as adjunct in there at Texas Southern. There are a lot of great things going on, especially from an athletic standpoint. And I think there's a lot of rejuvenation, if you will, within the student population with regards to Texas Southern sports. So a lot of great things going on over there.
Well, like y'all ever lost anything on the hardwood anyway. I mean, when it comes to men's basketball, I mean, Texas Southern is the standard.
Yeah.
Now, some of the other sports that he's got to do some work on, but he's got that one thing to lean back on. You always got round ball.
You always got round ball. And speaking of round ball, and I think you just sent this out there to us, but a little news from Mississippi Valley as George Ivory. He has been appointed the interim athletic director up at Mississippi Valley State University. I got another Murrah grad into athletic administration up there at Mississippi Valley. So kudos to George Ivory for taking over the reins up there with the Delta Devils.
Yeah, congratulations to Coach Ivory. You know, great time and circumstance dictates a lot of things that happen throughout people's professional careers. So if the person ahead, obviously you cannot get promoted unless somebody ahead of you leaves, either by choice or not by choice. But obviously, the previous athletic director left by choice to allegedly to return back to Jackson State. So you know, I hope that he that Ivory takes advantage of this opportunity. You know, he may not get the job on a permanent basis. You know, let's be real. Of course, they're going to go through their normal search that they would do in this situation. But this is an audition for him, not only to attempt to get the job here at Valley, but possibly later on when he does stop coaching to go into administration on a permanent level. So I hope Coach Ivory takes advantage of this opportunity, be it brief or be it extended, before they make a final decision there at Valley. And I wish him luck. And you know, a lot of challenges there at Valley, but Valley has come a long way. Still has a long way to go.
Yeah,
but they have come a long way, y'all.
They've come a long way. A lot of momentum up there near being under the direction of Akeem McClellan. They had some new things this past week, new branding efforts in terms of new Delta Devil and things of that nature. Broke ground on a couple things up there up in Itabena, but a lot of forward momentum. And now George Ivory takes over the reins. And a statement here from Valley President Dr. Gerald Briggs, who appointed George Ivory today. He expressed strong confidence in Coach Ivory's ability, stating Coach Ivory is a dedicated and experienced leader with a profound passion for Mississippi Valley State University. Undoubtedly, he will excel in this role, continuing to drive our athletic programs to new heights. So kudos to George Ivory in his new capacity as interim athletic director up at Mississippi Valley State. So we take a look at some more news and notes around the HBCU stratosphere. Angel Jackson, remember that name, AD? Former center for Jackson.
With that name, I'm just messing with you.
Former center for Jackson State. She finds a new home overseas. This comes to us from Chris Stevens with HBCU Sports. But Angel Jackson, former Defensive Player of the Year in the SWAC, has signed a contract to play with Faenza Basket Project Lions in Italy. Jackson was up the Lady Tigers to their third SWAC tournament championship and NCAA tournament appearance in 4 seasons. Was drafted 36th overall by the defending WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces in this past year's WNBA draft. But she was the last player cut before the regular season began. But now she gets a new opportunity to play overseas and enhance her stature to try to get back over to the WNBA.
Yeah, great opportunity for her to play and to make her name overseas and hopefully be able to come back stateside. And let's be real. And I don't want to diminish this when I say this. Nothing special about a player going overseas on the women's side to go play basketball, because even those ones that you see in the W still go overseas to play basketball during the traditional basketball season, because that's how they make a bulk of their money. They make more money overseas than they do over here in the W. But it's something about the prestige of playing in the W. So, like I said, I don't want to diminish when I say that it is special that she got to go overseas, but it's not as impactful as you would say if there was a men's player who went overseas to do it, because that's kind of the norm. She's just only got the back half of the norm for women's basketball. But congratulations to Angel Jackson on that. And I've got one more that I want to get out before we go to this first break on
Go for it.
Some appointments and everything. How about Dr. Walter Kimbrough being appointed the interim president at Talladega College after serving so many years there at Tennessee State? Dr. Edward Hill, the college's provost, served as the interim president up until June 4th following the resignation of Dr. Gregory Vincent. I'm trying to scroll down through this. We are thrilled to have Dr. Kimbrough join Talladega as our interim president, says Lewis Payton. His extensive experience and visionary leadership are exactly what we need to navigate this period and lay down the groundwork for a prosperous future. Dr. Kimbrough's commitment to serving for the next year will be pivotal in establishing stability and fostering growth across all areas of our college. So Kimbrough, formerly of Tennessee State, if I have my memory serving me correctly. So Dr. Kimbrough,
Tennessee State or Dillard?
Dillard.
Okay.
Well, didn't he leave Dillard and go to Tennessee State?
He might have.
Or do I have that backward? Do I have that backward?
I'm not sure. I have to take a look at it. We'll take a look at it during the break. We'll take
a look at it, but all I know is I saw the tweet from Dr. Kiki Baker Barnes stating to him, "Welcome back to the HBCU AC." So congratulations to Dr. Kimbrough for keeping that door open and trying to get that HBCU going on the right path, whether he takes the job on a permanent basis or he just does it as a stopgap until they find the person that they need. Want to wish him luck and success during this venture.
No doubt about it. Well, let's take a quick break, a quick pause, and we'll get into some more news and notes and commentary. AD Drew's had a couple weeks off. He probably has a lot to get off his chest. We'll be right back here on Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Back here to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab as we take a look at some more interesting news from around the HBCU sporting environment. AD, this past week, the annual SWAC Conference Council of the Presidents and Chancellors spring meeting yielded some interesting changes to be implemented during this upcoming season. The SWAC men's and women's basketball tournament will expand from 8 to 10 qualifying teams in 2025, and all 12 schools, they're going to be able to participate in the 2026 tournament. And then we also talked about this, and we've been talking about this pretty much during the spring. New basketball schedule is also in place for the next season. With the women, they're going to be playing on Thursdays and Saturdays, and the men will be playing on Saturdays and Mondays. Potential more exposure for the women's game. So a couple of interesting news and tidbits in regards to SWAC men's and women's basketball. Also, for football, the SWAC office will provide sideline tablets for each team in the 2024 season, providing in-game video access. These tablets will be distributed on the sidelines, in the locker room, and in the coach's booth to observe game feeds and verifying camera angles from sideline and the end zone. All team personnel will have access to the tablets, but they won't be able to connect to other devices, project larger images, or provide data and analytics. So some new things coming to the Southwestern Athletic Conference this upcoming season. We'll start with basketball. Tournament expanded from 8 to 10 teams, and then in 2026, all 12 will be participating in the SWAC men's and women's basketball tournament. Your thoughts?
Interesting to see what the bracket will look like. From what I understand, it will not go back to SWAC tournament of old, where you played the first round on campus before going to the neutral site. Everything will be at that single site. So that's probably at the request of the host city, obviously for hotel revenue and economic impact of the tournament, to show the economic impact of the tournament. There's going to be some teams that are going to be there for one game and wind up having to be there for the entire week because they pay for those hotels for the week, especially when you consider that the SWAC tournament is doing spring break for a lot of our institutions. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic navigating around that portion of it, and not only with the budget, but with the just obviously the students, getting them the student experience of participation in the tournament is a great thing. But basketball players, they don't get breaks. They don't get Christmas break because they got to come back on campus after a few days to prepare for conference season, because you go conference coming straight out of Christmas break. Don't get spring break because you're planning to be in the tournament. So don't get Thanksgiving, because if you're not playing over Thanksgiving, you are preparing to play coming right out of Thanksgiving or going right into Thanksgiving. So basketball players have it hard. So that's definitely going to be interesting. I do want to see what the bracket's going to look like. I want to see if they go with just a single bye. Obviously, 10 teams, seeds 1 and 2 will get a bye. I want to see, will they go with a double bye initially with this 10-teamer? Or will they wait to a 12-teamer and go with a double bye to give your top seeds a perceived advantage?
Or should they get that bye?
For the tournament.
That's the question.
Who get the bye?
Should that one seed get a bye, or do we get a 12-1 matchup in the quarterfinals? Just so we can see if there might be in that blue moon chance that we get this.
Go beat the 4. Go beat the 4. Go beat the 3. Go beat somebody else. Now, Charles, right now there is no reward for being the best in the regular season. So the only reward that you could give
is a bye.
Of tournament time is a bye. That's number one. Number two, we should want our better team, which our better teams should be the regular season champion and or runner up, to have the best opportunity to represent us at the next level, that being the NC2A tournament. So
good point. Good point.
Give us the best road and the easiest road as a reward for them with their hard work throughout the season.
And forgive me for wanting that AD Drew chaos, but Now,
Charles, this is what I'm going to tell you. Look at the CIAA. Look at the SWAC. I mean, the SIAC.
Tempo.
Somebody every year, men or women, who had that double bye, loses their first game.
That's a good point.
So you're still going to get your opportunity for a chaos. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see that 2-16 number 12 team create that chaos. You know? I want it to be somebody with at least a half a chance.
Point taken. The other interesting tidbit, and I thought this was really interesting, especially this upcoming season, looking at how the new scheduling format will be. The women, they get a night of their own. They get a night of their own on Thursday nights now. So the ladies will play Thursday and Saturday, and then you'll have your traditional doubleheader on Saturday nights, but the men will have the night to themselves on Monday night. But more exposure, I think, for the individual squads.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what interests me is what I did not hear come out with the schedule. You know, there were rumors that we heard that there was going to be a schedule reduction down to 16 games versus the 18 that they currently play. That did not come in this press release. So it looks like we're still going with the 18 game schedule that we've had for so long in the SWAC. So that's going to be, I think that was the biggest nugget, because were people going to reduce it down to 16, looking for opportunities to get more money games, to cut down on travel, or there are all kinds of factors, or were they going to use the excuse, since we split these games up, our costs are going to inherently go up, which they will, because you're having to pay for your table staff for an extra day every 2 weeks. Because basically that's what you play. You play at home usually on a 2 week cycle. You're home one weekend, you're away the next weekend. So you're gonna have to pay for that table for an extra day. I'm pretty sure somebody said, well, since we're split these up and gonna have to play more games, we need to reduce these costs to save some money somewhere. Let's cut the number of conference games. That didn't go over. I think that was the interesting nugget that came out of me, that they did not reduce it based on those various factors that are laid out from 18 games down to 16.
What do you think the advantage would have been if you had reduced the games from 18 to 16?
Obviously, 16 conference games, that's 2 conference games per team. Well, probably 1 per team, because one of those would probably have been a doubleheader that you wouldn't have had to pay for extra staff, extra security, extra ticketing agents, those things. That's 2 more opportunities that you would have had to, and I hate to say it, we know how some of our schools think, go out and get a check.
Yeah. Point taken.
I think those would have been the 2 advantages if they would have reduced it. But maybe teams felt it was going to be difficult going out and getting those extra 2 games, especially check games. Or that might have been an opportunity to play another I don't even want to put that out there. I don't even want to put it out there. I was going to say non-Division I folk playing another HBCU in the D2 or NAIA, but that's the one thing that I didn't want to see come out of it, where we taking it and getting the extra home game by playing, say, I'll just say Alabama A&M and the Talladega would have played each other, close enough regional rivals. But that's the last thing we need, is something to reduce our strength of schedule. So no, that was a bad thought that I had. Shame on me.
Well, let's take another quick break, and we'll talk a little bit about Florida A&M. They're back in the news again, and we'll get some thoughts in regards to what's going on over there.
Like Jay Walker says, there's always something going on down there in Tallahassee. Damn it, you right again, Jay. Damn you, Jay Walker.
We'll be right back here on Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
As technology continues to bring changes to the world of education, it's time we also reimagine teacher professional development. Gone are the days of one-size-fits-all learning that can only be accessed at a specific time and place. The Stride PD Center is an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that allow educators to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. The best professional development plans are those that include a level of flexibility and choice for educators. Whether you're a teacher, school, or district, visit us today to take charge of your learning.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
And welcome back in to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Charles Bishop and the AD Drew. And let's get into it, AD. This past Monday, I believe, which was the 24th, New Florida A&M men's basketball coach Patrick Crary. He'll have to wait for now to assume his duties after just being hired because the Board of Trustees voted to table his contract agreement. He was hired in April, and they voted to table it until August, and this was reported by WCTV in Tallahassee. The Board of Trustees had concerns regarding Crary's coaching student athletes before the contract was approved. Of course, FAMU's athletic director, Tiffany Dawn Sykes, noted that coaching out of season is not a violation of the NCAA policy due to Crary signing a volunteer employee agreement ahead of the official contract. So we saw moves being made by Coach Crary in regards to shaping this roster for the upcoming season. And the dominoes
including announcing a couple of signees the afternoon after all this stuff happened with the Board of Trustees. But continue on.
So, I mean, let me be Joe Fan here. Let me play devil's advocate and just ask a very simple question. We hire a coach, allow him to do his coach thing to prepare himself for the season, because to me, you're in a no-win situation if you don't allow me to coach my team. We're going to be staring at 6-23 again. What is the issue this go around in regards to a family coaching hire?
I want you, along with that, I want you to ask the question that you texted me earlier today before I made my response.
$1 million question is, how can athletics grow at FAMU? If
no, not that one. Not that. Not that one.
The
initial one.
Okay.
The initial one that you asked me.
All right. You already
about the players.
Okay.
The players before we do the deep dive.
Here's my thing. We see this all the time. We see a coach comes in, basically doesn't renew scholarships. He lets guys know, I'm bringing in my own players.
My guys.
It's nothing out of the ordinary, but it always seems to strike a chord of discontent when it happens at HBCUs. And I don't care what the sport is, whether you're talking volleyball, whether you're talking football, it strikes a different chord, but we see it happen in big-time college athletics all the time. So it's not out of the ordinary. Why does it strike a chord with regards to HBCU athletics?
Not understanding the business of the sport. You can go to University of Alabama. Nobody's going to say anything about it. You can go to Auburn. It's going to be expected. Clemson, Mississippi State. You name your big school in your state. It's to be expected when a new coach comes in. Here's the problem in this situation. Poor Patrick Crary is caught in the crossfire. He is caught in the crossfire in a, and I won't say what I said to you in the text message, in a power struggle.
Okay.
Between the board of trustees and the president / athletic director. This has nothing to do with Coach Crary.
Fair point.
This is the board of trust. This is the board of trustees. This is AD's Drew opinion based on some facts and some knowledge that may or may not be public information. So I'm not going to put all of it out there. But this is obvious. The board of trustees have lost confidence in the president and the president's hire of the athletic director. And there are some facts to back up why. There's some interesting things that back up why. We'll talk about that on Sunday's BCSN SportsWrap. We'll talk about some of those factors because there is a timeline, and if you looked at that timeline, you would have a little bit of pause also with some of the things they do. And then you come off of Jerami Gate. So after Jerami Gate, you have to know that everything that you guys do is going to be gone over with a fine-tooth comb. All the I's better be dotted, better be crossed, all the F's better be curved. Everything needs to be perfect when it comes to this. And you better have your data and your facts come up. We got a presidential debate that's going to happen tonight. And going into that debate, you better have prep for every possible question that you can have and have the data and or slides to back up what your argument is going to be in that question. From what I saw from the board meeting, although verbally said, the right answer was verbally said, there was nothing hard, concrete to back it up. No data, no stats. I could tell you anything verbally, but I show me some numbers. And shout out to the guys from the ONG Strike Zone last night. If you have not watched that first hour of the ONG Strike Zone, Brian, Kelvin, and Marcus, they really broke this down and broke down those player numbers that you asked me about, Charles. Where most of those guys that they were talking about that were quote unquote cut, 8 of them jumped into the portal before the coach even got there. That's half. But you got those included in the 16 that were cut.
Okay.
8 of them cut themselves.
Okay.
8 of them cut themselves. You had other players whose eligibility have expired.
Sure.
You have other players who are on track to graduate next month. So we are really only talking about 5 or 6 players who were even eligible to even come back to play.
So let me.
And if you figure half of, I'm gonna just say this.
Yeah.
If you figure half of those, you keep half and you get rid of the other half. Those kind of come up to those numbers that would be normal, just based on matriculation.
you said something very interesting to me that Coach Creary, he's just a man caught in a power struggle here. So let me play Rattler fan. Let me do this for a second. Let me help me out on this. And it's a real simple question. If the trustees and the vice president of intercollegiate athletics, if they can't get along, how can my athletic department grow? I mean, if there is a tension, if there is an undermine, however you want to call it, how can we get better?
We can't. It's just that simple, Charles. I wish I had a better answer, but it can't. And if adults cannot sit down in a room and work out their differences and figure out what's best for the team, the school institution, the household, Charles, many of us have been divorced. Now, this marriage is like a bad marriage right now, where the husband and the wife are trying to stay together for the kids until the kids get 18 and get out the house.
Interesting analogy.
It ain't working. It is not working. So for everybody's sanity, it's getting to the point where somebody gonna have to go down to the courthouse and file the papers.
So let me not just let me not just paint this for FAMU, because this is something that we see in the HBCU athletics environment. This ain't just a FAMU thing. This is we continue. I mean,
hell, we had it in December at Texas Southern.
Yeah, we have trustees. Well, I mean, at what point do you allow the people that you've entrusted to make decisions with regards to the athletic department? I mean, they're schooled in the finer points of how to run an athletic department and things of that nature. But at what point do you ask trustees, or you ask boards, or you ask whomever that are the movers and shot callers of the university, take a step back and allow for the people who run the athletic department to run the athletic department? Or is that even possible?
For some people's egos, it is not possible. But we just don't see it when it comes to athletics, Charles. A lot of times you see it on your own local level between the city manager and the city councils, or the county executive and the county commissioners, where the city manager's job is to do the day-to-day operations, i.e. what the president of the university's job is to do. The council's job is to set the policies that they go by. And part of this is the board of trustees' own doing by not holding the president accountable. And there's no disrespect to Dr. Robinson, but he's done some great things. When it comes to bringing in money for research, he's the bomb. But when it comes to athletics, and it's not just Dr. Robinson. There are plenty of presidents that's just not their space. And we've got TV attorneys, we've got real attorneys trying to litigate into stuff that they really should not be stepping into. And it puts everyone, and when I say everyone, I mean everyone, in a bad position. This man that moved from Miami, Florida to Tallahassee, Florida, and hasn't gotten a check yet. The one of the DSOs, the boosters, was supposed to give him $20,000 for the 2 months that he's been working without a contract. Well, he ain't even got that much yet. So how are we looking? Not only did you not approve this man's contract after he's left his job, moved his family, but you haven't even given him the middle money that you're supposed to give him to. And if you think it's bad now, Charles, the president has the right to extend him a 1-year contract without the board's approval. What you think's gonna happen if he do that though? If he pull that rabbit out of the hat?
Yeah, you just would rather that rabbit not get pulled, I think, for the sanity of everybody.
But the thing is,
yeah,
if you don't do that though, as the president, you expect this man to work until the middle of August for free?
Sure.
Because the other group who's supposed to give you that $20K has not given it to you. If I'm Patrick Crary, somebody better have me a direct deposit by the 1st or the 15th or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or y'all gonna have to find y'all somebody else, because I can't afford to feed my family on air. And that's what you asked me to do. And then to go for another 2 months, I hope his wife got one of those jobs where she can handle everything. Because right now, it's all on her. You're putting that man in a bad position because of a power struggle. Because you don't have the confidence to do anything. And if your lack of confidence is that bad, FAMU board, make the appropriate move. But don't leave that man out there hanging because you're trying to see who's is bigger than the other one. And y'all know what I'm talking about.
I tell you what, with that, we'll take a quick break and we'll continue the discussion on the other side here on Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Salient points. We'll be right back.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em! It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm.
Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At Hampton Law, our primary goal is to provide non-traditional yet effective solutions and redefine the approach to client legal concerns. As your trusted legal advisor, we believe in sophisticated, personalized services that eliminate the confusion and complexity sometimes associated with legal matters. Our high standard for client care and concern, coupled with our extensive legal knowledge and skills, make Hampton Law a resource focused on the protection of the client's interest and overall goals. We value our clients and truly enjoy working with them. Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida, 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
And welcome back inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Charles Bishop and AD Drew here. And we're talking about the hire, Patrick Crary at Florida A&M. And basically the trustees, they have voted to table his contract until August. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you, AD, and I think this is another Joe fan type question, is at what point do trustees understand that you are sort of, for lack of better words, stymieing the rebuilding process? FAMU's coming off a 6-23 season, and there are a host of things to get done in the off season. And I think Tiffany Dawn Sykes, she talked about scheduling, securing travel contracts, ordering equipment, awarding the scholarships. And those are a lot of the things that you are sort of backtracking on, and he'll have to hit the ground running if his contract isn't, tabled until August. But what is it about that part of the rebuilding process? We're talking about a basketball team that hasn't had a winning season since 2007. If you're going to be serious about the hire, serious about getting FAMU basketball back on track, why, for lack of better words, retard the progress?
Because we're not serious. If it's not football, we're not serious about it. I hate to say it, it's that simple. Nobody cares that our baseball team plays in one of the worst facilities in the SWAC. What that meeting should have been about was the billions of dollars of damage that was done to FAMU when the 3 tornadoes hit Tallahassee just over a month ago. But we worried about why this man's salary is $150,000, which is the same salary that your previous coach had for 5 years. Did not receive a raise. But you worried about why we paying the NAIA coach $150,000? Because that's the standard. That's what the job requires. If you want to play with the big boy East, you got to play by big boy rules. You can't pay that man $110,000, $120,000. Not if you want him to stay there for more than 1 year. And if you want to rebuild your program, you need to pay him appropriately.
Quick question. Tremendous success at the NAIA level, but
correct.
Was there some undercurrent with regard to the hire of Coach Prairie in terms of the background of coming from the NAIA? Were there those who wanted a Division I coach or things of that nature?
Oh yeah, there were those who wanted a Division I coach. You didn't ask the most important question, Charles. What are you willing to pay for a Division I coach? Charles, I want a Lexus. I'm not willing to pay for a Lexus.
Point taken.
So I drive my Hyundai.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You can want it all you want to, but unless you really pony up the cash, it's just fantasy, bro.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Did you? There was a list of former NBA people, current and former Division I coaches, Division II coaches, and I looked at that list, and 50% of them automatically you just scratched them off because you knew you weren't gonna be able to afford it. And if you could afford the salary, you weren't gonna be able to afford the other stuff that they were gonna request. So why not get somebody from a lower resource situation and improve their situation and watch them try to succeed?
No doubt. Well, I tell you what, a tough situation to sit back and watch. Hopefully, for lack of better words, cooler heads prevail at some point, and FAMU can get on track with what they need to do basketball wise, and sort of put this to bed, so to speak. But like I said, it's not just FAMU. We see it across sort of the HBCU sporting environment where trustees, boards, whatever the case might be, they get involved with the hiring process. They get involved with the day-to-day operations, or whatever the case might be, things are sort of becoming disarray, and it's unfortunate to watch, unfortunate to see. It makes news, but like I said, you root for everybody to come out on a better footing, if you will.
Put it to bed, Charles. Look like we're gonna be having a nightmare until August.
No doubt. Let's put a bow on it, man. Any final thoughts with regards to anything going on in HBCU sports with our last 5 minutes?
Well, it's not HBCU sports, but there is something that I did want to get off, and talk about their Charles, and I'll just
the baton has been passed for over a century here. We've been talking earlier about if it wasn't for the Willie Mays, the Jackie Robinson, the Reggie Jacksons, the three of us wouldn't have an opportunity to play. How emotional is it for you to come back to a play that you played with one of the greatest teams around?
Alex, when people ask me a question like that, it's like coming back here is not easy. The racism that I played here, when I played here, the difficulty of going through different places where we traveled. Fortunately, I had a manager and I had players on the team that helped me get through it. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody. People said to me today, I spoke, and they said, "You think you're a better person? You think you won when you played here in Concord?" I said, I would never want to do it again. I walked into restaurants and they would point at me and said, "Can't eat here." I would go to a hotel and they say, "Then can't stay here." We went to Charlie Finley's country club for a welcome home dinner and they pointed me out with the N-word. "He can't come in here." Finley marched the whole team out. Finally, they let me in there. He said, "We're going to go to the diner and eat hamburgers. We'll go where we're wanted." Fortunately, I had a manager, Johnny McNamara, that if I couldn't eat in the place, nobody would eat. We'd get food to travel. If I couldn't stay in a hotel, they'd drive to the next hotel and find a place where I could stay. Had it not been for Raleigh Fingers, Johnny McNamara, Dave Duncan, Joe and Sharon Rudy, I slept on their couch 3-4 nights a week for about a month and a half. Finally, they were threatened that they would burn our apartment complex down unless I got out. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. The year I came here, Bull Connor was the sheriff the year before. And they took minor league baseball out of here because in 1963, the Klan murdered 4 black girls, children, in 11, 12, 14 years old at a church here and never got indicted. They were from the Klan. Life magazine did a story on them like they were being honored. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. At the same time, had it not been for my white friends, had it not been for a white manager and Rudy, Fingers, and Duncan, and Lee Myers, I would have never made it. I was too physically violent. I was ready to physically fight I'd have got killed here because I'd have beat someone's ass, and you'd have saw me in an oak tree somewhere.
Reggie, I can't even imagine. It's awful you had to go through that, but appreciate you sharing the rawness and the honesty of it with our audience. I mean, really,
we love you, Reg.
Yeah, thank you.
Quick history lesson there.
That's a great history lesson. Reggie Jackson telling us.
That was huge. A huge moment for baseball. And you know what, AD? He did not let Birmingham off the hook.
He did not let Birmingham off the hook. Shout out to Fox Sports for not cutting him off.
Yeah.
I was watching it live when it happened. And it was a mixed crowd. It was a majority African Americans where I was at, but there were a few non-African Americans in there. And when he dropped that N-word the first time, I'm like, oh shit! I'm in my head. Excuse my language, y'all. and then when the second one, and of course y'all heard he did not say N-word. He said, he said the word.
Yeah.
And then the second one, and everybody, it got quiet. There were about 7, 8 of us in the room, just in an Airbnb. It got quiet during that interview.
Mm-hmm.
And it was powerful.
Yeah.
That was one of the most powerful statements that I've had. Shout out to Fox Sports for not cutting him off, for letting him get that. And shout out to the panel for letting him get that off. He did not let Birmingham off
Giving
of
him
the
the
hook.
space. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The thing is, how much of that is still around today?
Well, I'll tell you what, very poignant moment, a very poignant moment for baseball, very poignant moment for the country, as in probably within the hour, we get to see where we are today.
Right. And also for those of you all, go and YouTube the other interview he did. This was not at Rickwood, but this was in Birmingham when he talked about Bear Bryant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Making sure that they got one of those. And that, unfortunately, is still the mentality of a lot of college coaches and a lot of college people today.
There you have it. No better.
But we run to our historically white colleges to play ball instead of to our HBCUs. I will drop the mic on that, Charles.
There it is. No better place to put a pin in tonight's show. Thursday night's episode here on Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. You know how we always close things out. I'll start things off. Course.
Lecture.
Dismissed. We'll see you Tuesday, everybody.